Good morning, everybody. Fantastic to see you all here, and thank you for joining so early across most of EMEA today. Wonderful to see everyone, and a happy 2022 to anyone we haven't seen on the live stream series yet. Great to see you here. Great to have you on board for this year. We're super excited, and what a way for us to start as well. We are really excited to bring you this early introduction of the new SA360. It's, you might know, been in the works for quite some time, and it's our privilege to bring it to you now. So let's jump on to the next slide and we'll have a look at what we're going to talk about today. So first of all, if we just jump back one, let's see who's going to be talking to us. First of all, as I said, my name is Brian McCaffrey. I am head of SA360 for UKI, and I'll be joined today by Deepak, who is the go-to-market lead for SA360 for all of EMEA. Honestly, he's the brains of the operation. So let's jump on and see how we're going to cover things today. So we've just got three areas to cover. We're going to do the key updates on what's happening with the new interface. We're going to cover what to expect over the next few months and on into Q&A. Now, with that, I will say Q&As don't be shy. This is a lot of new information. There has been a lot shared over the last few weeks, and there's going to be more here today. So now is the time to ask your questions. There's a chat box right under the live stream. Keep the questions coming. We'll be monitoring and we'll ask the ones that are most prevalent, most pertinent to everybody, and we'll get as many answers as we can as we move through the content. Great stuff. So let's have a look at what's going to happen. But before we look forward, let's just have a second to look back. SA360 in its current form began as DS3. That was back in 2011. 2011. How will we describe how the world looked like at that stage? I'm not going to get into it, but let's say I know at least one person on this call whose hair was a bit darker at that stage. Now, while our product has improved a long way since then, and we've made huge strides, huge progress, and great increments along the way, it does mean that our core product has not undergone a complete rewrite in over a decade. And from a software engineering standpoint, SA360 was due an overhaul at this stage, and really to build upon what we've learned in the last 10 years from what we see in search, what we see across the rest of our tools, and what we've heard from you as well. This is all fed in to a rebuild and a ground-up solution for what SA360 can and should look like. That said, our product goals have not changed in SA360. Solving scalable workflow challenges, driving performance through automation and data integration, they constantly form the bedrock of our product goals. And we're not planning to change that. Solving for enterprise, agency, and large customer needs continue to be our core mission. But like I said, a lot has changed since Search Ads 360 was developed 10 years ago. The way people search has changed, and the expectation for the ads that they see has evolved. Now, whether that's searching for a local coffee shop, comparing flights for a vacation, even more complex multi-step queries, buying a car, things like that, they take a long time. People need different information at different times in that journey, and customers expect search ads to be more relevant and helpful. That can mean surfacing key details about a product, real-time availability in local stores, or offering multiple ways to contact a business. As a result, advertisers are managing much more complexity than ever before. And that's why advertisers turn to platforms like SA360 to simplify campaign management, measure the performance, and grow the business. That's what we're here to do. So when we thought about this rebuild, we rebuilt the platform under three pillars to set you up to manage search for today and on into the future. The three pillars that we really honed in on were, first of all, a new look, faster navigation. This is key because we know that at times our current, or what we'll now call the legacy interface, was a little bit slow. It got caught up, and so we've revamped that entirely. More to the point, the experience, the look and feel is something that we think you're going to be very comfortable with. If you spent time in Google Ads, if you spent time in Bing or Yahoo, in any of the engines, you will be very comfortable with how this new interface looks. We've taken the best from what we've seen from these interfaces and brought it into one place so that you can manage things easily, simply, and with the speed that you expect to manage your search activity. Furthermore, we've improved the search engine support across all the engines that we cover. So for Google, for Microsoft, and for Yahoo Japan. We've brought in more and more features, and we'll explore those in a little bit. And on the last pillar, we've brought in enterprise-only features. They centralize and scale your day-to-day tasks across engines and your accounts. This is key to that point of SA360 being for enterprise, for agency, for large customers. When you have a lot to manage, when you have a lot of cross advertiser workflows, this is where SA360 can really help you save time and be far more efficient. The core principle of what we try to do here is allow you to do more from one place that will save you time and deliver you better results. Now, to dig into some of these features, I'll ask Deepak to come on screen.
I'm really excited to unbox this new Search Ads 360 by walking through some of the highlight features that Brian touched upon. Like Brian said, we've rebuilt the new Search Ads 360 with a few principles in mind, and Brian touched upon these principles on this slide. If we move to the next slide, the first of these principles is that we built it with an experience that you know and you're familiar with. We've done a lot of user feedback and research over the years, and one of the key learnings always was that people constantly have to shift between screens. This kind of context switching is very annoying for the user and also is expensive because you have to keep training the people. Now, in the new SA360, we want to move you from one UI to the other very quickly and seamlessly, and we've built the new SA360 to look and feel more like the engines that you know of. If you see the screenshots here, on the top left is Google Ads today. On the top right is Microsoft. At the bottom is the new SA360. So you can see how this is coming together. So familiarity isn't just enough, right? It needs to be functional for you. So what we've done is made the new SA360 much more faster. We've improved the latency levels so you can manage all of your activities in the one UI. Like Brian said, we want to centralize your activities and day-to-day work in the UI. So that's the second principle. And then the third principle on this, sorry, if we move back to the previous slide. The third principle just on the new experience is we want it to be foundational. By that, we mean we want to build on top of what we've done in this effort so that we can keep evolving the new SA360 as the engines themselves keep evolving. We consider that a foundational principle for the new experience. So to summarize, a familiar engine experience is the first pillar that Brian spoke about. Now, we're going to talk about the second pillar. If we move to the next slide, the second pillar is a lot about deeper integrations, right? One of the constant feedback we've heard is the demand for the latest and the greatest features from the respective engines to be available on SA360. We're excited to share today that in the new experience, we are bringing immediate support for almost everything on Google Ads and a vastly improved support for Microsoft and Yahoo Japan and other engines. You can see a lineup of features on this slide. I'm going to unpack that a little bit for you. So what does this mean for Google Ads? Is that if you go into the new experience today, you can already start seeing new campaign types like Performance Max or local campaigns. You can start seeing things like labels. You'll start seeing things like conversion value rules, for example. So the idea is to bring more and more engine features inside the SA360 UI. For Microsoft, this means we're bringing full support for shopping campaigns, for responsive search ads, for dynamic search ads, etc. And for Yahoo Japan, the key feature was dynamic ads for search, and we're bringing that with the new SA360. So This is a long list, I know, and this list will keep evolving. But the core principle here is we want to centralize your work in the one UI by bringing you more and more features. So that's the second pillar, improved engine support. If we move to the next slide, the third pillar that Brian spoke about is core to how we operate as an SA360 platform. We call it advanced enterprise innovations. The premise here is basically we want you to do more of the engine work very efficiently without having to do the context switching. Now, we know that many of you manage multiple layers of entities, whether that's different accounts, different markets, different channels, etc. And you want to manage all of that seamlessly. So with that in mind, one of the major things we've improved over the current experience is that we have up-leveled almost everything to the agency level. So you don't need to repeat your actions that you do at the advertiser or the account level. Now, let me give you an example to make that clear. So in the past, you'd have to go through hoops if you want to copy something, or if you want to clone something, or if you want to replicate actions from one account to the other. But today, what we've done is things like labels, or things like automated rules, or keyword management, or ad copy testing. All of this becomes so much more easier. You can move across advertiser account levels. So that's what we mean by up-leveling everything to the agency level. We also know that you love your inventory management and ad builder functionalities. What this slide doesn't mention is that we are upgrading the whole IM experience to something we call templates, which will give you a whole new level of authoring environment. So we've thought about this very carefully to give you the right set of tools to be able to scale your work much faster. If we go to the next slide, we've spoken a lot about campaign management so far, right? The next logical question on your mind might be, hey, what about budgets? We're excited to bring you our new performance center. This is going to be your one-stop shop for budget management. If you're familiar and have used budget management functionalities in the current SA360 UI, we've simply upgraded them a whole new level. So what you can start doing is planning your whole budget for the year. You can even do seasonality planning and use our machine learning tech to forecast out 12 months into the future. You can do proper budget allocation across your channels and campaigns and engines. And you can even customize that allocation on the fly or on a daily basis as you see things change. So that's planning and allocation. You also now can manage and execute on these plans by leveraging budget bid strategies. You might be familiar with budget bid strategies already. What we are adding is we're adding a whole new level of automated and manual budget bid strategies to provide you the kind of control that you need to track your performance, whether those are KPI goals like TROAS or you have value goals, as well as manage your budget and spend. We're also bringing a whole new alert system that will caution you if you're deviating away from your set goal. And we'll also show you in-context recommendations that you can see and action upon to help you move back and course correct. So as you can see, it packs a lot of features. It's designed to be truly end-to-end. And in terms of availability, you'll start seeing this feature turn up in your accounts as you get ready to go to the bidding in the new UI. Right. So we've spoken about campaign management. We've spoken about budget management. If we go to the next slide, one of the things that might be on your mind is, I've done all of that. How do I know I'm doing well, right? Reporting is one of the core experiences in the new SA360 UI. We've built lots of features for it. I've mentioned a couple of them here. On the top of your screen, you see something called overviews. These are basically snackable, customized cross-engine summary to get you quickly the insights that you need. For example, you can quickly identify things like which are your top campaigns, which are your top performing keywords, for example. So that's overviews. We're also bringing a report editor into new SA360. You might have seen a report editor on Google Ads. Here, we're bringing an up-leveled experience. So it allows you to do your pie charts or your tables or your professional-looking graphs that you want to create by using the information from the account. The one other piece that's not mentioned on the slide is we're improving the integration we already had with Data Studio. So if you want to share information with anyone who doesn't have access to the SA360 account, or you want to use that as a dashboard, you can connect to Data Studio from within the SA360 UI. Right. So Data Studio is one aspect of GMP. If we move to the next slide, the other aspect of GMP where we've had a lot of demand and ask is on supporting analytics. We're excited to share that we're bringing support for GA4, and that's not just on reporting. We're also going to bring support for bidding, for conversions, for DDA, etc. So stay tuned for more info on this. We have an alpha that's currently running, and we'll share more details towards the end of the presentation. So a lot of features to unpack. We'll be coming to you with more live streams like this to help you go deeper into each of these. So over the coming months, definitely stay tuned to this program. I'm now going to pass it back to Brian to take you through some of the next steps and the timelines that you can expect. Brian?
Thank you, Deepak. And if we can jump on, just as a reminder, there's a poll on screen. As Deepak has gone through those exciting features, let us know which ones you think are going to make a big difference to you and your workflows. Now, this is a lot of change and a lot of great opportunity and great excitement to come from these changes. But we also understand that change can be somewhat difficult. We all have our workflows. We all come in on a Monday morning, put the coffee down, and then we have a set number of things to do with the accounts. And that's going to take a little bit of getting used to. Now, in terms of workflows, in terms of navigation, we're confident that you're going to be comfortable in the new interface. But we do recognize that there is some things to get used to. Your best friend in the new interface is the new Experience Hub. This is like our migration center, but what's key is this is personalized to every single account, and there's going to be one available in every account. What you're going to see in this on this page is what's new, what's changed, and what's available. Now, the important thing about this is, as I said, there may be stuff that has slightly changed names, that has moved locations, and instead of searching, going to the help center, etc., this should be your first stop. Come in here and you'll get a view for where things are at, what are they called now, if there's been any name change, and how I can go and address it. So that's a place to find your way around. The other key thing that you'll find here is what are those new features, when are they available, where are they available at the moment. So as you plan to migrate and move all of your work and spend most of your time in the new interface, again, here is where you'll see bidding is available, inventory management is available. The things that I care about, the things that I spend most of my time doing are available in the legacy interface, are coming to the new one, are now available. And once you see that the features that you care about, the places you spend your time are available, you're ready to move into the new interface and spend your time there. Where possible, we want to avoid people having to spend time in another interface. So we want to get you comfortable in the new interface. We want to make sure that it's working for you, and we want to get you in there spending your time and being as efficient as you can in there. What I'll mention there is throughout the process over the next while, and I will talk about some timelines now, but throughout this process, your feedback continues to be key. Let us know how you're feeling about it. Let us know what's working, what's missing, etc., etc. There's going to be great feedback queues available from the interface itself, and we have built out really strong processes to see that come through, to triage that, to group it together, and see what's really important to you as the users. So keep that feedback coming, and we will be addressing it. It's massively important to remember that we built this platform as a foundational to build for the future. We are very much ready to build onto it, to add to it, to grow with search, to grow with your businesses. So keep telling us what you need, and we will keep addressing it and rolling things out over the coming months and quarters. Let's talk a little bit about those timelines. If we can jump to the next slide. So February 8th, last week, was a big date for us when we announced this change. The word went out on the keyword blog, because blogs are still a thing. And with that, you also will have seen a pop-up in the interface. You will have also, many of you will have heard from your account reps and account managers on this as well to get the latest details. We have we have this live stream, and there is going to be a series of live streams coming over the next couple of months to get you close and comfortable with all of the new features as they come through, come live, and come available for your accounts. I will give one more mention there that there is another poll on screen. Let us know what you're thinking. Where do you think you'll need support as you make these moves? Again, keep this feedback coming. Let us know, is there any area that is of particular concern to you? And we will make sure that we're addressing it, and our teams are ready to help and support you on that. As we move through the launch and these information sessions, we'll start talking about migrations to the new interface. I referred to it a little bit earlier, but digging into it, what's important to remember is that migrations will be opt-in. We're not in the zone of forcing anybody to move. We want you to be comfortable in the new interface. We want to make sure it works for everything you are doing in the account, and then we will help and support you move along. The vast majority of these migrations will be automated. So it's just going to be a matter of getting yourself comfortable in the new interface and going in and managing everything from within there. There will be a point where you need to say, yes, I'm going to manage my bid strategy from the new interface, because we're not able to switch that between both, because it's important that we only take signals from one place on that. But that will be the only moment that a decision has to be made. Pretty much for the vast majority of accounts, pretty much everything else will just move, be ready, be continuous in the new interface, and there will be no downtime or effect on your current activity or campaigns. Again, when that is ready, will be on an advertiser by advertiser basis. It will be, you will be able to see from that SA360 hub when all those features are available, and you can just make that move along with your account manager, or as you deem ready to move bid strategies. In terms of timing, over the rest of this quarter, our aim is to have 100% of accounts having access to the new UI, being able to go in, look at it, check it out. As we move through this quarter, bid strategies and performance center will be eligible to move for certain accounts, and that will come along based on account setups, and you will be alerted or made aware via the hub, the SA360 hub, as to when your account is eligible to move and when you can go into the new interface and manage everything from in there. Some advanced feature sets like ad builder and inventory management will kick off later in the year. So again, SA360 Hub is where you want to be to make sure that the things that you care about are in there and ready to go. As we move through this, you can be assured that we will be releasing more collateral, more information, and disseminating through things like the live streams, through the account management teams and partner management teams, to let you know when things are changing, when things are coming through. And one more thing on in terms of timing for the legacy interface, we intend to keep both interfaces open and working throughout the majority of this year. At some point, once we have all features ready in the new interface, we will move to read-only state for the legacy interface, so you can still go in and check things and navigate, but actions will be completed in the new interface. This is not something to be overly concerned about, because, as I said, we're very confident that the look, feel, and navigation of the new interface will be somewhere that you want to be. And as more and more features come out in that new interface and more capability comes to the new interface, you're going to be much more comfortable and happy to spend your time in there, getting more done, saving time, all in one interface. Now, if we can jump to the next slide. As I said, we have space, we have time to take a few questions, so keep them coming. We're seeing loads coming in, so I really appreciate that, and we'll jump to a few of those in a second. But let me just jump through some of the things we've heard already. So as I said, we've had we went live with the announcement last week, so we've heard from a lot of you already. We've heard via the account teams, and we've heard directly over social media, etc. So it's fantastic to feel the excitement, to understand where everyone's at with this, and generally it does feel like people want to see more, want to get involved and get moving on this. So let's talk about some of the things we have heard and some of the commonly asked questions of the last week or two. So let's talk about what's changed. So as you know, this project has been a long time in the making, and it's a significant overhaul of the back-end engineering, etc. We knew that these efforts would be worthwhile, and they now allow us to launch this faster interface and free up significant resources to innovate, to continue to provide you with that optimal experience. And what I'm getting at here is this has been a big effort to set up this platform, but now we are ready to push on. Think about these new features. Some we're bringing right now, but there's lots of room for opportunity here. And this is where we'd like to partner with you. This is why we'd like to hear from you about how we can push the platform even further. We're on a steady, stable place to really push off, and we would like to see this as our springboard to bring new, better, faster features, be that in workflows, be that in better automation, improved data integration opportunities. That's where we want to see this go, and that's where we'd love your feedback. So keep that coming through your account teams, through your partner managers, and directly through the interface as well. With respect to timelines, we really, really understand that us coming out saying that there's going to be lots of new things is very exciting, but it can be difficult then to just wait those extra few weeks. We really appreciate your patience on this one. We wanted to let you know as soon as we could, so that you can start prepping, you can start preparing, you can start reading and getting comfortable in the interface. As these features come available, you should be able to jump into these as they move. As I said, we're looking to get 100% of accounts have access by the end of this quarter, and that's really the phase we're in right now. After that, we'll be opening up bidding, the performance center that Deepak talked about. And a reminder, once these are available, that's what they are, available. It will be your option, your choice to move in when you're comfortable with them and when you're ready to go into that new interface and manage from there. A couple of the specific product asks that we've been hearing. So Performance Max, a very exciting new feature coming from the Google Ads side, and has been growing through the second half of last year. We'll be providing further support for this in H1. So if an SA360 customer is using PMax now or wants to run PMax, they can do that from the new interface. It will be there. Right now, that will be against optimizing towards Google Ads conversion tracking, and we are working on supporting Floodlight for Performance Max. We're aiming to bring this in the first half of this year, and so we'll let you know as soon as that is ready. So as a reminder, in terms of doing things from one interface, Perf Max can now be managed from the new interface, be in there. If you feel that Floodlight is your source of truth, that capability is coming over the coming months, and we'll let you know when that happens and how to transition over into onto Floodlights. Another area that Deepak talked about is GA4. Hugely exciting and a big ask from you as a broader community. If this again is your source of truth for measurement, we are happy to bring this through. Reporting capabilities will open up this quarter, and bidding will follow. Now, Deepak, I'm not sure he was supposed to say it, but he said it anyway, so cat's out of the bag. We do have an alpha open on this, so if you want to put your hand up, if you want to be one of the early testers as to what this looks like, do let us know. Let us know via your account manager, your partner manager team. They will be happy to put your name in to see if your account is suitable for the alpha, and we can get cracking. Like many things that we're working on for SA360 and the new version of SA360, we are looking to move fast through these alphas. We are looking to move fast into beta and into live. Again, because we're so confident in the platform we've built, the foundation that serves, we know that rolling out new features is going to be much faster, much better, and a cleaner result for everybody. The last one that I'll mention here before we jump to some of the questions that we've had is Performance Center. Deepak talked through this in a bit more detail, and it's worth remembering that Performance Center will become available once bidding is available in your account. So again, the new SA360 Hub is where you need to be. Check out what that looks like, check out when bidding is available, when Performance Center is available, and get in there and start using it. The predictions you will be able to make, the planning you'll be able to make for budgets is significantly improved on what you've seen before, and really takes in a lot more details about your account, about what seasonality you put in there, all out to 12 months in the future as well. We understand that seasonality is a big issue, and it's very different for the various industries. So we want to help you plan through your quarters, through your months, and through the rest of this year. Performance Center is where you can do that. More than planning, it's actionable. Things will be able to be in there, save, repeat, put plans in place, and keep them going for the rest of this year and continuing on from there. Your SA360 rep will be able to give you a little bit more detail as to when we expect to have your account ready on for things like bidding and Performance Center. So do stay in touch and keep close on that one. So with that, let's jump to some of the questions, and got to hand it to the team. They have somehow managed to bring these questions onto slides already. So fantastic work. Let's jump to the first one and see what people have been asking. Okay, question number one. When will the old interface, the old SA360 interface, be phased out? And Deepak, just because we're not going to let you off with easy questions, when will GMP resellers get access to the new interface? Deepak, I'll give this one to you.
Thanks, Brian. This is an important question, and we want to share that the new SA360 experience is just available for you. So like Brian said, we're not taking away the current experience that you have. We want you to get familiar, fully functional, and fully comfortable with the new experience. So like Brian alluded to, you will have two experiences side by side. Once we feel comfortable that you're all on the new experience, you moved your features, and you're working day to day on the new experience, then we'll share information on turn down, etc. So we're not sharing any details right now, because the key thing is for all of you to get comfortable with the new experience. And then the second part of the question, when will GMP resellers get access to the new interface? So this one, you should get access as and when the individual accounts go on board to the new experience. So we've synced it in the same way that there is no separate process that you need to go through as the individual accounts for you go on to the new experience. You should be able to access the new experience.
I'll just add in there that the rollout and access is happening at account level rather than partner or agency level. So you'll see some, if you're working in a partner company or at an agency, you might see some of your accounts having access already, and others. But we are managing them in waves. There's 7 waves already started. We're a long way there. We're actually, I would say, slightly ahead of plan in terms of how many people have access at the moment, but we are aiming for 100% of access before the end of this quarter. So not too long to wait, and I'd say the next 2 to 3 weeks you will see most of your activity available in there. As we jump to the next question, I'll just mention, thank you for coming back on the polls that were on screen. In terms of what you're excited about, it is great to see that 46% of people are most excited about the new campaign types, 21% most excited about Performance Center, and 15% on GA and new cross advertiser workflows. So probably around what I would have expected. I love to see the new campaign types and new features being the one that people are excited about, because I think that is what's going to make the big difference to the new interface. So great to see people come through on that one, and delighted that that's where you see the opportunity here. Jumping into question 2. How fitting. When you say more campaign type supported on Google Ads, which types do you mean? And will these campaign types be subject to the same platform fees as such as search and shopping? I'll take the first part of this one, Deepak, if that's all right with you. So when we say the new campaign types for Google specifically, we are talking about Performance Max, as we talked about earlier. We're also looking at discovery and local campaigns being the 3 major new campaign types that we'll be fully supporting in the new UI. In addition, the campaign management and engine metrics will be available from the launch. So we'll be ready to go as soon as you have access. You should be able to see any Performance Max, discovery, or local campaigns in there. As I was talking about earlier, they will be currently in there with optimizing towards Google Ads conversion tracking, but we are building out the capability to make those available against Floodlight if that's your source of truth.
Right. I can take the second part of the question, where someone's asked, will these campaigns also be subject to the same platform fees as search and shopping? Now, this is a good question, and we know this is top of mind for a lot of you. We're sharing at this point of time, we don't have any announcements to make on the platform fee. So you can continue to use these new features as they come up. As we go into the year, when more and more things become available, we'll share if we have updates on the fee. But for now, we don't have any updates. We want you to continue to use these features, get familiar, and be comfortable.
Lovely, great. So thank you, Deepak. As ever, we like to work this as a great partnership. So nothing is going to come as a surprise. Any changes that we make will be well flagged in advance, and your decisions will be yours to make. Question 3, will labels sync from engine accounts, or do we still need to create separate labels for SA360? I'll jump in super quick on this one. Deepak, you may be able to expand on it. Google Ads labels are supported. Labels created or owned by a linked Google Ads account will be available in the new SA360. It's worth noting that this is one of those things that I was alluding to earlier on. These won't sync back into the legacy interface. So we'll be looking to, these will work in the new interface. And this is one of those places where we think you're going to get more comfortable in the new interface very quickly through labels, etc., etc. We also will now have agency labels in the new SA360, which will give more scaled workflow opportunities. And so the agency and similar, the agency labels won't sync back into the legacy UI. So this is a new interface only feature. And so this is another reason, another place to get comfortable, get into the new interface. Deepak, any more on that?
No, I think you touched upon it. The only thing I would say is these labels now become powerful tools for you to do your cross-advertiser workflows that we alluded to. And like Brian said, this will be available in the new UI. You can start playing around with them and give us lots of feedback.
On that feedback, let me just jump to the second poll where we asked, where do you think you're going to need some help and support over this next while, which we are ready to do. Our help center is ready, built out, our teams are trained, they understand, and we're going to have more and more of this type of content over the next while. People are saying that bidding on the new SI is an area that they feel like they're going to need some support. I would hope and assume that is just that people want to make sure that one moves comfortably with no issues. We're very confident that that's going to be the case, and we'll be in touch and working with you as you make any moves on that. So again, new SA360 Hub is the place to see when that's available, what you need to do to make those moves. The other areas that people have called out is the APIs and complex technical moves. So about 35% of people feel like that's going to need some support. We absolutely are ready for that one. Our internal tech teams have been trained, have been working with the engineers as this platform has been built out. So people who are currently using APIs, BigQueries, and and other sophisticated integrations will be more than supported. We are not going to make you move anytime before you are comfortable. We will make sure that all things are in place before any moves happen, and you're well aware of what to expect in the period while we make that move. That is a small number of accounts that will need that support. As I said, the vast majority will just be a matter of getting into the new interface, deciding when you want to do your bidding, use Performance Center, and get into the new interface with no additional support. Let's jump to one more question here. Why don't I see bid strategies, a bid strategy screen on the new SA360? Deepak, do you want to jump in on this one?
Yeah, I can jump in. So if you're thinking if we forgot about adding a bid strategy screen, we haven't. So what you'll see is bid strategies will be read-only in the new experience for the time being. And then as you get comfortable, as some of the other features come in, we will, if you're ready to migrate to the new experience fully, then your bid strategies become read-write. So the expectation is we want you to get access to it, start looking at the bid strategy setup workflows in a read-only mode. Then we'll have a date for you on when you can switch over to the new UI, and then you can start engaging on bid strategy workflows in the new UI. So don't worry, we haven't forgotten about it. When we know, based on the feedback, this is one of the areas where you feel you need support, and we'll continue to come with more information, help center articles, and detailed deep dives on the bidding workflows in future sessions.
Great. Thank you, Deepak. We probably have time to jump to a couple more of the live questions. So keep coming, keep putting them in the chat box for another few minutes. We won't get them on screen, but let's just have a look off and just see. Deepak, is there anything that jumps out at you right now that you want to cover?
Yeah, so there's a couple of interesting questions. Obviously, there's lots of questions coming in, so we won't be able to address all of those, but we'll pick and choose which we think is relevant for a lot of people or in most people's minds. One of these is coming from Jonathan. He's asked, is there a PDF or a set of articles or blogs or videos which explain all of the changes? Now, this is an important question, right? This is just the start of your journey on the new Search Ads 360 experience. Like we said, this is the introduction session. We'll be sharing lots of resources. There'll be more live stream sessions like this coming over the coming months. What you can do now is we have a fully functional help center that's available for you to take a look and navigate. We also have a Skillshare course on getting started with the new SA360 experience. And please work with your account teams on SA360. They'll also be able to share more details. And like we said, like PDF resources and more such coming your way. So that's one. There is another question that I can quickly take. Will this be possible to still run web queries? It's a fundamental tool that enables our reporting. Thanks for this question. I think it's an important one. We touched upon some of the reporting functionalities and experiences that we are bringing in the new UI. You can, the short answer for this is yes, you can continue to run web queries, and we'll continue to improve the whole reporting experience and upgrade it in the new UI.
I'll just jump in with one really interesting question about SA360's commitment to adopting features from other engines outside of Google. A really important question, and I'll just say we are fully committed to being a cross-engine platform. This is hugely important to us. Again, the ethos, the point, the pillar that we built this on is to ensure that you can manage all of your search from one place, being faster and more efficient with time. If we are missing out on features from other engines that are popular, we start to fail on that one. So we really want to make sure. We have rolled out a lot of features on other non-Google engines ready with this launch: responsive search ads in Microsoft, dynamic search ads in Microsoft, full measurement and management of dynamic ads for search in Yahoo. And that is just the start of it. There are more coming, and you will see again in the content that comes over the next coming weeks. And as well, our partnerships with these engines continue to be very strong. We work really closely with them, and we learn a lot from how things are managed in those engines and how closely we partner with them. So we continue to do that, and we have full commitment to work with all engines that we support.
I think there's a lot of questions, and we won't be able to meaningfully answer all of them, but please keep them coming. And like we said, we'll get to all of them as we go through the individual feature areas in the future as well, and more resources coming your way. So maybe, Brian, should we do a quick recap?
Yeah, let's jump on. So as we talked about earlier on, the things we really want you to remember as to how and why we built out this new interface. The key thing is it's a new look, faster navigation. It's a look and feel that you're going to be comfortable with, and you're going to be able to use much faster, more efficiently. We have improved that engine support, new features coming across all engines that we support. The advanced enterprise innovations is where we really think we differentiate here, and the capabilities we give to your enterprise level business, or indeed across your agencies. That's exactly what we want SA to do for you, and make your life easier, more efficient, and faster. And the last thing is give us feedback. And I will say that in two ways. Please give us feedback on the tool. Get in there, give the feedback. There's a really good obvious place to click. Let us know if something isn't obvious, isn't clear, or there's new features that you want. Communicate through your account managers and your partner managers. Let us know what else you're missing, where you want to see this go. We want to build this out as in a partnership with you, and we want your feedback. Secondly, let us know how this session was for you today. There's going to be a survey on screen directly after the live stream. So let us know what more you want to hear, how much detail you want us to go in live stream in the future, and anything else you'd like to share about today's experience. With that, I think we are about ready to wrap it up. Thank you so much for your engagement in the polls, in the questions, and for attending today in the first place. This is a huge moment, and we're really excited to be stepping into this new world along with you, in partnership with you, and excited for the future this is going to bring. A big thanks to Deepak for his expertise and knowledge on the features, on the plans here, and you will hear more from him and me over the coming months.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.